Hello and welcome to Behind the Screen. I am JM. This is a show where we hang around and we talk about gaming, but specifically beautiful things that inspire us about gaming. Whether that is great adventures, great art, great writing, great settings, great rules, things that inspire us to tell better stories. Because it's really kind of what these last 250 episodes have been about. It's telling better and more beautiful stories. So good morning to everyone, to Padre, to Mark, to John, to Val, and to Tink. Good to see all of you. I actually get to hang out with Mark this weekend. It is going to be a ton of fun. We're going to North Texas RPG Con, which is in North Texas. We're going to do some walk-on some games, hit the dealer hall. I'm probably going to run some Axe or Hyperborea for him and Tink and a couple of other people. And it is a snake's tail. It is one of my favorite t-shirts of all time. It's the Ouroboros with Sisyphus pushing his rock up. If I could ever get an animated t-shirt, it would be this, because I feel like the movement would be wonderful. DM James, good to see you. So the only downside of ChupacabraCon, which I will start off with, was that, John Doom and Val and DM James weren't there, because ChupacabraCon is this little con that takes place in San Marcos, Texas, and it is spectacular. It is I won't say it's a Savage Worlds convention, but there's a strong Savage Worlds presence. In fact, this year there was a massive presence from the Friday night Savage Worlds game that I played in. We've got, I was there, Tink was there, Civil Savage was there, and Chris Landauer was there. It was awesome. But also I got to hang out with Daryl Hayhurst, who is just an amazing person. I got to meet both of Shane's sons. We got to play in a wonderful game we'll get into. But yeah, it was a great time. So it's a small little convention. It really goes Friday to Sunday. And really, we got there Friday morning to get our badges, and at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, the con still wasn't set up. So you can roll in Friday afternoon, and it is a great time. I guess my only other complaint, if you will, is they had a decentralized dealer hall this year, which was a little weird, kind of hard to find things. But there were so many great vendors. Civil Savage has these amazing dice towers. I should do something strange. I will be right back. This is my... Here, we'll get back in. This is one of the dice towers that Civil Savage sells at ChupacabraCon. Dice going up top. They come out through the Roman temple. This thing is massive. That's because, Val, you are a man of excellent taste. Yes, now, I did show up briefly on your last one, but I don't know that you saw me. And then I had to jump into a meeting, so I didn't get to stay for long. Oh, Padre, good to see you as well. So, what did I do at ChupaCon, and why should you go? So the dealer hall has a ton of great dice and little people who show up, and they're so creative and crafty. You're not going to get a ton of the big name vendors there, but Chaosium shows up every year. And this year we had a booth for Savage Worlds, which was awesome. Savage Worlds had its own room. Landauer found this great set of minis that these guys did that were steampunk fantasy minis, but were all clearly inspired by Star Wars. So there was the grouping of heroes that was basically the Star Wars cast, and then they had dwarves in plate mail and jump packs that they called the Dwarfalorians. They had the Lich and their guard, which was clearly the Emperor on his throne, and the Crimson stormtroopers, kind of with their pikes, which was awesome. I did get to see Ed and the team behind E251, but I did not get to go to their panel. They always show up, which is, I think, one of the reasons that it has a strong Savage Worlds core. Now, I did get to run 2 games, and I got to play test the first adventure of um, my Doomguard adventure, which went really well. Like, everybody thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a table of mostly um, Savage Worlds proficient people, and Ronnie got to jump in on that game. And it went super well, no pun intended. People enjoyed the adventure, they enjoyed the action, they enjoyed the setting rules. And then the next day I ran a Savage Pathfinder game for, I think, mostly new people to Savage Worlds. 3 of the people were from their own, like their gaming group shows up to this thing. But I think the highlight of gaming, I was in the Carl Kiesler game. We played a ETU-esque game where we were all at an old folks' home. And this game was spectacular because it was... so first of all, the characters were the Golden Girls, Uncle Jesse from the Dukes of Hazzard, and then Abraham Whistler from the Blade movies. And so I got to play Whistler, Roddy got to play Uncle Jesse, Chris Landauer made an amazing Dorothy, and Tink played Sophia. And I know that I was introduced to Shane's sons, but forever I will remember them as Rose and Blanche because they were perfect. And the adventure had us fighting Baba Yaga, the sort of redneck version of Baba Yaga who stayed in a Airstream trailer out in the woods. And Carl Kiesler had a Airstream Mini that then turned into... He had a second Mini that was the same Airstream, painted identical, but had the chicken legs coming out of it. Thank you, Val, because when we were introducing our characters, we had to say why we were in Pine Box and what our grandkids were doing, because the grandkids went out on this scouting, like scout trip, and they were, you know, kind of captured by Baba Yaga. And now Whistler's family was killed by vampires, so I said, well, I'm here because an old hunting buddy of mine was in one of these retirement homes and said that there was some weirdness going on here in Pine Box dealing with a mummy. So I came down, but Bubba had it all wrapped up before I got down here. And I don't know that anyone picked up on my deep cut Bubba Hotep reference, which if you have not seen Bubba Hotep, Bruce Campbell plays Elvis in a retirement home and teams up with his roommate, who's JFK's brain that has been transplanted into another person's body, to hunt a mummy. Beautiful. So Carl Kiesler's games lived up to all expectations. The presentation was fantastic. The adventure was a ton of fun. He introduced me to, if you are a Savage Worlds fan, he introduced me to these little coin tokens. You can buy them on Amazon for like $8, and they're designed to hold coins. They're 25 millimeter. And so basically you can put your cardboard status tokens into these little plastic sheaths and keep them safe through use at the table. Now my only problem is I bought 100 of them. They perfectly fit the core Savage Worlds status tokens, because the core Savage Worlds status tokens are 25 millimeters. I had to order another set because the Savage Pathfinder tokens are 26 millimeters, which, son of a bitch. But it was a ton of fun. I got to hang out with a bunch of great people. Dustin from Chaosium is there. He introduced us to this amazing breakfast place that last year at Chupa that we went to every day. And this year we went to it every day. So if you're ever in San Marcos, go check out Kirby Lane. John Doom, I have a ton of extras. I will send them to you. Done and done. Yes, he did have it. all wrapped up Padre. And then the coolest thing for me, I got my copy of Savage Tales of Science Fiction Volume 1. And why this was exciting for me, there are 6 adventures in here. And let's see here. Going Viral, which is the cyberpunk adventure written by Brian Reeve, which is fantastic. The Captain is Dead by Donald Schleppis, which is a Star Trek adventure. The Queen's Gambit by John Stevens. And Chariots of Light and Dark by Daryl Hayhurst. And then, of course, Blood from a Stone by Chris Landauer. And then I got to see in print Emergency Evac, which... So when the science fiction campaign was live on Kickstarter, one of the stretch goals was, hey, we're going to do these little mini adventures, because there's so many different adventures in... so many genres in science fiction. Let's kind of show off how the sci-fi companion does all of them. And I got to write one of them, and I wrote Emergency Evac, and I actually turned it in before I went to Chupa last year. And Emergency Evac is a BattleTech-inspired adventure where you have to fight some megafauna, or as the gentleman who walked up to me was, kaiju. And that's what it was. It's giant robots versus kaiju, inspired by BattleTech and Pacific Rim. It's an adventure I got to write. And this, there was a gentleman there who came up to me and was like, hey, I'm running your adventure twice this weekend. It's amazing. I ran it once already. People loved it. And that meant a lot to me, because Emergency Evac was the first writing I did professionally after the bacterial meningitis incident. And so it was kind of... It was wonderfully encouraging to hear that somebody really enjoyed the adventure, because I will be honest, that first year was really rough, kind of emotionally, and kind of, do I still have what it takes to write professionally? And so it was just nice. That guy, whoever you were, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know if you're watching, but I appreciate it. So yeah, Chupa's great. I was only there for 2 days this year. I stayed all 3 days last year. There's not, unless you want to play a ton of games, because there are always games going on. It's a smaller con. I would say probably 300 to 500 people. But that's enough to always have something going on. And this Savage Worlds community shows up. I think at the time we were doing Carl Kiesler's game, there were 6 or 7 Savage Worlds games going in that one room. And plus you get to see a ton of cool people. The ETU writers always show up. Ronnie, the Civil Savage, shows up. I will say the saddest part of the convention, this guy had this amazing booth where he had just like 3 shelves worth of first and second edition Dungeons and Dragons. I would say 60% of it was in the shrink wrap still. And I got a box set for Birthright that I was missing, Cities of the Sun. And, I was like, well, how much do you want for, I don't see a price. He's like, well, I'm a private collector who's selling off his collection. And let me look it up. So he would just take Noble Knight prices, drop like 20% off of them, and offer them to you. So I was like, well, okay, out of the stack I had, which was mostly shrink wrapped, if I'm going to pay Noble Knight prices, I'm just going to get the unshrink wrapped one, because I'm not going to pay a premium. But it was sad, because it felt to me like he didn't necessarily want to be there doing that. And I could have been... yeah, exactly. We superimposed a narrative that his wife was forcing them to sell due to gambling debts. Yeah. James, I'm going to try to come to Page this year for 2 reasons. One, because DM James is there and he just invited me to play in an Ed Stark Birthright game. What? And 2, one of the guests of honor is Kevin Zambita of Palladium. And I said if I could make it, I would show up and kind of help run a booth. Hang out with him, because he doesn't know anyone in the city. So there's a better than average chance that I will be at Page this January. I'm very excited about it. Do you know when tickets go on sale? So that's it. Chupa is a great time. It is a small convention. It is it's a very intimate convention. You'll see the same people over and over again. The Embassy Suites is wonderful because it's this 2 towers of rooms, and then you never have to leave the convention site. It's just right there, and the rooms are huge. The rooms are huge. Like, we're talking like you walk into a living room that has a pull-out bed. There's a small kitchenette, bathroom, and bedroom with a door. So splitting a room cost is super easy with people. So it's probably one that I'm going to every year. One, it's close. It's only about 3 hours away. And two, there's a lot of Savage World goodness going on out there. So if you're at all interested, I would highly recommend checking out Chupa next year. And if you are all interested, I'm speaking right to John Doom and Val and Padre. Love to see you there. So this weekend, I'm going to North Texas RPG Con. Again, won't be a Thursday episode. I do apologize, but Mark's coming out, so I'm going to get to hang out with him. And yeah. When is Phoenix Comic? Oh, it's this weekend. It's the same weekend at North Texas RPG Con. And possibly the only place hotter than Dallas this weekend will be Phoenix. But if you are in the area, you should definitely go see Cripright and John Doom, two of the coolest people in the Savage Worlds community. It doesn't rain in Phoenix. Everybody says it's a dry heat. So yeah, that's it. That's my debrief of... Oh, also big shout out to Dustin at Chaosium, because met him at the Chaosium booth as he was setting up. I was like, hey, do you have any Pendragon Game Master handbooks? He's like, yes. I'm like, awesome. That's the only thing I've been looking forward to here at the convention. Please hold one for me. I'm going to go run my game. And when I came back, he was like, ugh, the books didn't show up. He's like, oh. He's like, do you want me to, how about I send you one? I was like, I mean, okay, I appreciate it, but like, it's not the end of the world. I can buy one when I get home. And by the time I woke up from my mid-afternoon siesta, there was an email from Chaosium saying that there was a Game Master handbook. So expect a Game Master handbook review for Pendragon here in the next couple of weeks. On sale now. Awesome. Padre, you should see if you can go to Phoenix Con. Cripright, are you running one of your infamous multi-table events at Phoenix Con this weekend? So Cripright does this great... awesome! Damn it. I'm not saying that I don't want to go to North Texas with Mark and Zane and Tink and her kids, but you know what? I'm really tempted to come because I really want to see one of these multi-table sessions. Are you going to run any of them at Gamehole Con this fall? Because I happen to know that D and James and John Doom will be attending Gamehole Con in October. So let me know about that one, Cripright. Ooh, see? Perfect. I'll definitely want to play in one of those. All right, well, that's it. Until next time, please, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming. It is always wonderful to hang out with you. Check out Savage Tales of Science Fiction. All of the adventures are fantastic. I will post a link to Ronnie's Etsy store about his 3D dice towers, because they're really friggin' cool. So that's it from me. This is JM. This has been Behind the Screen, and I will see you all later. Until next Tuesday, have a good one, everybody.